In 1908, something changed the spiritual destiny of humanity forever. In a city where 3 continents meet, a man created something that shouldn't exist. A secret school that combined Christian mysticism, Islamic Sufism, and Buddhist wisdom into a single explosive formula. The Ottoman Empire banned it. The Orthodox Church condemned it. The Sufis considered it heresy. But 200 people risked their lives to learn the secrets of the Fourth Way. And what they discovered there changed not only their lives, but the course of human evolution. Prepare for the truth about spiritual evolution. Imagine, you are in Constantinople, 1908. The capital of a dying empire. A city where Christians, Muslims, and Jews live in constant tension. And suddenly, people start to disappear. Not kidnapped. Not killed. They simply vanish from ordinary life. A Greek banker. A Turkish poet. An Armenian dancer. A Jewish merchant. Nothing in common, except one thing: they had all met Gurdjieff. Because Gurdjieff was doing something that violated all the religious laws of the time, he was teaching a spiritual path that belonged to no religion, but that contained the secret of all of them. The Fourth Way. A method so powerful that it allowed for spiritual evolution without a monastery, without a retreat, without abandoning normal life. And the Ottoman authorities had documented something terrifying: this Russian man is creating a new religion that could unify Christians and Muslims. A danger to the state. Ottoman Secret Archives, 1909. But why Constantinople? Why there, at that explosive moment in history? The answer will show you that Gurdjieff didn't choose that city by chance. He was called by something much greater. Constantinople, 1908. The most strategic city on the planet. Europe, Asia, and Africa touch there. Capital of 2 empires that each lasted 1,000 years. Christian Byzantium. The Muslim Ottoman Empire. But Gurdjieff saw something that no one else did. He called Constantinople a cosmic fusion point. According to him, there were only 7 places on the planet where all spiritual currents naturally met. Tibet, Mecca, Jerusalem, Varanasi, Cusco, Mount Kailash, and Constantinople. But here's what will blow your mind. Gurdjieff claimed that these cities were cosmic acupuncture. Points where it was possible to pierce the veil between dimensions. And in 1908, something was happening. The Ottoman Empire was collapsing. The old world order was dying. And in these moments of chaos, the veils become thinner. Gurdjieff didn't come to Constantinople to learn. He came to teach. Because he had received a mission from a secret society that had existed for 2,500 years, to prepare humanity for what would come after the Great War. But when he arrived in Constantinople, he discovered something terrifying. He wasn't the first. Someone had already tried to create the Fourth Way there, and had failed catastrophically. The fall of Constantinople. But there's a story that has never been told. In the last days of the Byzantine Empire, an Orthodox monk named Maximos the Confessor tried something desperate. He gathered 40 Christian mystics, 40 Muslim Sufis, and 40 Jewish sages. The goal: to create a unified spiritual path to save the city. They called it the First Unified Way. But something went terribly wrong. In 3 days, all 120 participants went mad. Completely. Some threw themselves into the Bosphorus. Others tore out their own eyes. Maximos wrote before he died, "We tried to force the union of what must evolve separately. We paid the price of spiritual arrogance." And for 450 years, no mystic dared to try again in Constantinople. Until Gurdjieff arrived. But he knew the story of Maximos. And he brought something the monk didn't have: the knowledge of Sarman. The secret society that guarded the true methods of spiritual fusion. And this time, it wouldn't be forced. It would be organic. Because Gurdjieff understood something that Maximos didn't: to unite spiritual traditions, you first need to separate what is essential from what is merely cultural. And that separation would change everything. Constantinople, winter of 1908. Gurdjieff rented a discreet house in the Para district. European district, neutral territory. The first students arrived in secret. An Armenian banker. An exiled Russian countess. A Sufi dervish. And Gurdjieff did something revolutionary. Instead of teaching a tradition, he taught the essence behind all traditions. Forget your religions, he said. Let's discover what they were trying to say. And then he presented the three traditional paths. First path, the fakir, mastery of the body. Second path, the monk, emotional purification. Third path, the yogi, mental development. Each one took decades. Required total isolation. Only a few succeeded. But there is a fourth way. Secret. Dangerous. And much faster. The fourth way works with all three aspects simultaneously. Body, emotion, and mind. In harmony. Without abandoning ordinary life. You can evolve spiritually while living normally, he explained. You work, you love, you build families, and you simultaneously transform yourselves. And he proved it. With exercises. Sacred dances that activated higher centers of consciousness. Breathing exercises that dissolved emotional traumas. Meditations that expanded perception without drugs. In 6 months I learned more about myself than in 20 years of prayer. Dimitri 80, banker. But in May 1909, something happened that almost destroyed everything. Because the Ottoman authorities discovered the school. And what they found terrified them. Wait a minute. You might be thinking, is this history or fantasy? Man, I thought the same thing. Until I found the documents. The Ottoman archives in Istanbul. The National Library of Turkey. The Archaeological Museum. Everything is documented. Police reports, diplomatic correspondences, tax records. Gurdjieff really existed. The school really operated. And the authorities were truly terrified. And here's what will shock you, the fourth way didn't die in Constantinople. It spread. Paris, London, New York. Secret schools using the same methods. Today, there are thousands of people practicing the fourth way. Executives, artists, scientists. Evolving spiritually without leaving their lives behind. And in the next 15 minutes, I'll show you why the Constantinople experience was so revolutionary that it changed the spiritual destiny of humanity forever. May 1909. The Ottoman police raided the house in Para. They expected to find political conspirators, revolutionaries, Russian spies. Instead, they found 30 people dancing. But it wasn't ordinary dancing. It was something that defied the laws of physics. The people moved in perfect synchronization, but each one made completely different movements. As if they were parts of an invisible cosmic machine. The chief of police, Kemal Pasha, wrote in the report, "We couldn't stop the dance. When we touched the dancers, we felt electric shocks. Inexplicable behavior." Gurdjieff had discovered something that modern neuroscience is only just beginning to understand. When groups of people synchronize specific movements, they create a collective field of consciousness. Literally. A measurable energy field. Today we call it neural synchronization. Gurdjieff called it higher crystallization. And he proved that this collective state allowed for accessing impossible information. During the dances, people made accurate predictions. They solved complex mathematical problems without training. They healed each other's diseases just with intention. Kemal Pasha was so impressed that instead of arresting Gurdjieff, he became a secret student. And for 2 years, a high-ranking Ottoman official practiced the fourth way in secret. Until something happened that changed everything. 1911, the Young Turk Revolution. The empire enters civil war. And Gurdjieff has to make a choice that will define the future of humanity: save his school or save his students. Revolution in the streets of Constantinople. The empire is disintegrating. The Fourth Way school was in danger. Christians, Muslims, and Jews practicing together? In times of racial war? It was a death sentence. Gurdjieff gathered his 73 students. Armenians, Turks, Greeks, Russians, Jews. People who would kill each other on the street. Here, they were brothers. And he made a statement that would define his destiny: a school is not a place. It is a state of collective consciousness. In that state, you already carry within you. Instead of fleeing with a chosen few, he did something extraordinary. He divided all the methods of the Fourth Way among his students. Each one received a part of the knowledge. Like pieces of a cosmic puzzle. Scatter yourselves throughout the world, he ordered. Plant seeds. One day, someone will gather all the pieces. And they scattered. Jean de Salzman, Paris. P.D. Ouspensky, London. Thomas de Hartmann, New York. Olga de Hartmann, Buenos Aires. Each one carrying a fragment of the revelation of Constantinople. Gurdjieff remained until the last moment. When the house was set on fire by nationalists, he was alone. But he wasn't sad. He was complete. Constantinople taught me that the true school has no walls. It lives in the people who have awakened. Gurdjieff's last diary. The Fourth Way was born. And nothing in the spiritual world would ever be the same. So, what was the true legacy of Constantinople? Gurdjieff proved that spiritual evolution doesn't need religious war. That Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, and Jews can learn from each other. That there is a greater truth that unites all traditions. And today, more than ever, we need this message. We live in a time of religious extremism, of divisions, of hate. But the Fourth Way is still alive. Discrete schools all over the world. People of all religions practicing together. Evolving without fanaticism. Growing without exclusion. If you feel that your religion has truths, but not all the truths. If you believe there is something greater than human divisions. If you want to evolve spiritually without abandoning your life, then you need to know the complete methods of the Fourth Way. Subscribe and hit the bell icon. Because I'm going to reveal the exact exercises that Gurdjieff taught in Constantinople. And tell me in the comments, do you believe that religions can complement each other instead of competing? Because maybe Gurdjieff discovered what humanity has always known deep down: all paths lead to the same mountain. The only difference is the trail we choose. Until next time, explorers of the Fourth Way.